Hi everyone, this is Teo from PocketBlocks.com. Today I want to show you this pen that I'm using. This is the Pilot Custom 743 fountain pen with a Falcon nib. This is one of my favorite pens for drawing, and this review will be from the perspective of someone who uses this pen for drawing. So let's take a closer look at this. So this is the Pilot Custom 743 fountain pen with the Falcon nib. This pen comes with other nibs, of course. The construction is quite nice. Black body, it has gold trimmings at the top and bottom of the cap, and at the bottom of the pen as well. Like most of the mid-range to more expensive Pilot pens, they have this ball clip here. Now this pen costs about US $200 and above. It's quite a long pen, actually not too long. Let me compare it to a Sharpie pen marker. So it's just slightly a bit longer. So that's the Falcon nib, and the body is a bit it's a bit, torpedo shape. So it curves actually from this end onwards down, tapers downwards. Most of the other pens that I have, they taper from this point, so this particular pen tapers from further back. In terms of comfort, it's quite comfortable, so it doesn't matter. So let's take a closer look at the Falcon nib. Okay, this is a rather large nib. On the surface, it just says that it's Pilot. It's made of 14K gold, and it's FA. That's the letters for the Falcon nib. So on two sides of the nibs, you'll be able to see some cuttings on the sides. It's quite a large nib, actually. It measures about maybe 1.5 cm or so. Less longer than my fingernail. That's the feet section. Let me open the pen up. Okay, I cannot remember if the pen comes with a converter or not, but this particular converter is the Pilot Con 70, CON-70. And that's how the Con 70 converter looks like. It's a plunger style, so you just dip it into your fountain ink bottle and then start pressing, and the water gets sucked up. It's very convenient and very fast. This is the other converter that you can use with the Pilot pen. With this pen, this is the Con 50. This one uses a piston twisting mechanism. For this particular fountain pen, the body is long enough so you can use this, which has a larger capacity for the ink. So let's try drawing with this pen and see why I like it so much. Before I start drawing, I want to show you another Falcon nib as well, just to compare the size of the nib. On the right side we have the Namiki Falcon, and at the bottom, of course, the 743. You can see that this nib here, the 743, is just much bigger and longer. So let's see, do some writing test. This is the Pilot Custom 743, and it's a Falcon nib, so it does have some degree of flexibility. It's not super flexible, but it has a slight flex to it. So if you are just doing a normal writing, like I'm using no pressure at all right now, just doing some hatching lines, it's a pretty fine nib. But if you apply pressure to it, for example, you apply pressure to the downward strokes, you can see that it's now thicker. Now I can get thin lines as well, and thick lines. Okay, one of the bad things, problems with this pen is if you use it to draw very fast, you get this railroading effect. That's when the ink flow doesn't catch up with the outflow of the nib. So if you draw it slowly like this, it's not going to be a problem. But if you draw it very fast, you can see that the railroad thing goes in. Then you have to wait for the ink to catch up on the nib again. So sometimes I just shake it a bit to make sure that the ink catches up. But most of the time when I'm using this pen, I draw slower. So I just tell myself to draw slower so that I don't have these ugly things that I don't like. So if you are going to be drawing slowly like this, you're not going to see any of those railroading problems. The nib itself is quite fine. It's fine. It's not extra fine. It's fine. But when you apply pressure, it sort of goes into a medium stroke. I usually use this particular pen with the Pelikan M200. Now there's a separate video review for this M200 on my YouTube channel. Just do a search for it. This is not a flex pen, but you can apply pressure to make the lines thicker as well. So the Pilot 743 is going to give me a fine to medium line. And this M200 is going to give me a medium to a broad line. So when I bring these two pens out for sketching, I will be able to get lines from the fine, medium, and then I will have the broad. So very nice variations to the lines. Let me do some drawings to show you why I like to use this pen for drawing. Let me just draw some cubes, for example. Let me do it without any pressure first. Just some blockish cubes on the ground, for example. The nib is very smooth on the paper, so it's a pleasure to draw with. So we have some of these blocks here. I applied no pressure at all, but now let me show you what happens when I apply pressures to the strokes. Oops, drawing too fast again. So when the railroad happens like this, usually I have to go over the lines again, and it's an extra step, so I tend to just draw a bit slowly. So you can see that I have thick above, and then a thin, then a thick, and maybe thin. So let me draw another one. Again, you see that railroading thing again. So I have to draw a bit slowly. Let me just leave that in for a while now. So let me again draw. And for the blocks at the back, let me just use a finer, let me just apply no pressure at all. Maybe a bit here. And then we have really the thinner. So you can see that this one is, the drawing on the left side, you can see that it's quite uniform. The lines, the strokes are of uniform thickness and strokes. And for the strokes here, I vary the thickness, and immediately there's more visual interest because there's variation in the thickness of the lines. So I think it creates more visual interest as well. So this is because the point of using thick and thin lines sometimes is to basically make objects appear further in the nearer to the foreground, and push the objects at the back further into the background. So usually I use thick strokes for the objects in the foreground, and sometimes if it's not clear enough, I will go in and add, again this is the M200, just to outline the strokes, just to make them even bolder, just to make the objects in the foreground stand out. Let me show you a sketch that I drew with the 743 Falcon. Okay, it's this particular sketch. I really like this sketch, especially the statue here that I drew with the pen. The reason is because for this particular statue, I have used a thicker line for the edges to create the silhouette. You can see here, even for the steps here, this plate here, I use a thicker line to just basically outline the whole thing. And for the lines that are inside the silhouette, inside here, I used thinner lines. So there really is, it looks, I think, better than if I were to just draw it with no line variations at all. So this is one of my favorite sketch that I drew in Macau using the pen. That's all for the review. Thank you for watching it, and I hope you find something useful in it. And if you have any questions, just feel free to post them in the comment section below. And if you find this review helpful, also share it with your friends. Remember to subscribe to my channel, because I'll be posting more art product reviews in the future, as well as sketching videos. See you next time. Thanks.